grateful for that. But I think more efficiency, stop duplicating the services, and be responsible for the taxpayers' dollar.
Thank you guys very much. One more housekeeping thing, well, kind of just spell the room. I heard a couple people not knowing if they were voting on seat A or B. If you are a county delegate, you're voting on both of those races. So you're not divided anywhere in the county. You will be voting as a county delegate on both seat A and seat B. Okay, this question we will start with Larry, and then we'll work our way down and then come back around to Michelle. So this question has to do with government structure and your oath of office. So if you were to be elected, you would take an oath to the Constitution. However, the state of Utah legislature considers counties and cities their political subdivisions. What would you do if you found that they were asking you, giving you a mandate or requiring counties to do something that violates what you consider your oath of office?
That's an interesting question. Certainly, ethics is absolutely vital to any elected official. You have to respond to the Constitution, you have to respond to your people that you represent. As a county commissioner, I would do everything in my power to live up to that constitutional challenge. Certainly there are ways that you can do that. I think there's ways that you can accommodate the needs of other individuals, other entities, and still maintain your integrity. At the end of the day, you can't look yourself in the eye and feel good about what you're doing. That what you're doing is honest, has integrity, and is true to the people you represent, and you have no business in this position. But I think there's a way to balance that. I think there's a way to meet your needs and also work closer with others.
I think we saw that. I know this is probably just kind of a outgoing from COVID specifically as a mandate type of thing. And that was hard to watch. That was hard to, all of us went through that and saw some of the things that we didn't think were right. I think my biggest thing is just sticking to my core beliefs and telling the truth and working through things that are appropriate for all people. And I think as we tell people that, like, we're obeying the Constitution and things like that, and as we live that way, then people see from our fruits, just like we would normally if see people doing the right thing or not. And I think that's where I'd be at that.
There has to be a strong buffer between what the state feels is right for us and what we, as Utah County residents, feel is right. And I feel like that is a strong imperative as a leader of a county, that you need to stand up and sometimes stand up to the state. Sometimes the state says, hey, we need to solve this crisis. This is the most important crisis. And that might be as a state, potentially, but we solve it our way. We are Utah County. We want to preserve a Utah County that is something that we've all grown accustomed to and we love. And I think you have to be willing to preserve and benefit your stakeholders, your people who got you into office, and not try to appease or capitulate to higher power with the expectations of this is how it's going to further my career as a politician. And we start to see those people really quickly, and how they work out is they compromise their values to preserve that power and prolong their political power and political positions.
My opinion is, as a county commissioner, I follow the core values. That is it morally right? Is it ethically right? Is it financially right? And is it a benefit to all instead of a select few? And then the other thing is it constitutionally sound? Some of the mandates that come from states and governments down to city leaders and local leaders, it's not constitutionally sound. Our Constitution is what we go by. Our Constitution is the basis of we, the people. And when they give us the freedoms to do the things that we believe is right for us, the other thing that is, your constitutional rights ends where my constitutional rights begin. So we can't tread on other one's rights. And that's my take on fighting for you as a county, citizens, to follow the Constitution.
It's been really fun because I've seen a lot of my fellow employees and friends out here that know where I stand with this. They know I strongly support the Constitution. They also know I am the only mayor in the state of Utah that vetoed the mask mandate. They also know there's a couple words I hate. It's mandate, and the words I hate even worse are unfunded mandates. I feel like big government needs to leave us alone. We are good people. We know how to self-regulate. You delegates are more engaged than ever. You understand the Constitution better than anyone. And you don't need to be told what to do and how to do it. Let those that have the boots on the ground, that are here, working hard, lead this county the way we know how to do it. We've done it before. We're good folks, and we'll keep doing it.
Okay, for this next question, we'll start with you, Richard, and then we'll move around that way. What do you think Utah County's form of government should be and why? A 3-member council or commission, a 5-member commission, a mayor and council, or an appointed manager and the council?
So I actually really like the 3-county commission. I know some of the people up here and some of you out there don't. But I think that the one thing that the 3-county commission does provide is its accountability to all of them. So if you change this system to somewhere where it's like some of you get represented in Lehigh and some of you in Santa Quinn and a couple that are at large, when you're unhappy with that government and the way it works, you only have a couple votes. Where currently, I think you can vote any of them. Since they're all at large, you have a choice of any of them. And I think that also with the smaller commission, the ability to be able to cut red tape and things like that, that may, in some cities we see specifically, where if you have lots of these different bureaucracy things, that they will take longer to get things done. So I think that the 3 will make it more efficient, and it's better representation, and you can also have the best say.
This has been a great question that many delegates have been asking about, and I'm cautious about expanding to more heads. I've found that in government, it's rarely that you expand and then you stop expanding. It's usually you get an engine and you start taking a mile, and you see some of that aspect in various forms of government. What I do see is an imperative that we need to get the right heads in there. If it's 3 heads, if there's 5 heads, it's irrelevant if they're not there to do what they're supposed to do. If they're getting in to bolster their ego, sponge up the taxpayer revenue, and cause problems, then 5 heads are going to do that just as effective as 3. And so getting the right people in there who will get in there and keep taxes low, improve and progress and develop a better county governance, that's where we need to focus on, is getting the right people in there in the right seats to do the right job.
I'm for the 5 county commissioners, and the reason why is because of this. And I propose this, and also cutting salaries and making them part-time positions, because they don't have the needs down in southern Utah, such as around Santa Fe Basin, are different needs in the central area of Groveland. The needs out in Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain are totally different than the needs in Lehigh in that. And so by having 5 county commissioners, you divide that into districts, and they're represented by those who live in that area. You have a county commissioner that runs down in Santa Fe or Payson to come up here and voice their concerns and their needs. I believe that by cutting their salaries and having it so that the people vote on their salaries and making them part-time, you have 5 people looking at budgets instead of 3. I have peer reviews in my work. In other words, we hold the county commissioners as responsible. If I'm supposed to do something, have another county commissioner reviewing what I'm supposed to do and vice versa, and make them accountable to you as the citizens to be responsible for them and representation.
This has been a great question, and I've been asked it multiple times, and I'm just here to tell you I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, I don't have all the answers, but 6 years ago, we approached this, and I was at the time the mayor of Provo, And we did a whole year of research on this. So we proposed it, got it on the ballot. The citizens voted it down. Great, then move on, let's go forward. I am completely open to that again. It's what the citizens want is the direction we take. As mayor, I did not get to pick my salary. Do you know who picked my salary? The citizens picked my salary. Every 4 years, I was evaluated by a citizens committee that I did not pick, that was picked throughout the city, and then depending if I performed well or if I performed just junky, that was what decided my salary. And I was 100% comfortable with that because we don't hold this seat, this is your seat. We need to be held accountable to it. And you are our boss, and we need to be able to have you hold our feet to the fire.
Well, the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what I think. It's your decision. I told people to come visit me in my booth. I agree with the 5-member commission, elected geographically, so the interests of the other areas are all met. So some of them are south and the north can talk about the issues that are specific to their area. But the bottom line is it's a ballot initiative. And so what I would think or what I want doesn't really matter. What I would do, and what I'm committed to do, is get it on the ballot, invite you as the voters, you that the county commission represents, make that decision, not me. But yeah, I'm in favor of the 5-member commission elected geographically. And what I would do is push to get that put on the ballot and let you decide what you want.
Okay, Taylor, let's start with you. And the next question is, last year, Utah County entered into a formal cooperation agreement with ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Do you support or oppose this agreement with ICE, and what are your thoughts more generally on illegal immigration?
So it's a really good question. I support it, and I talked about this, how it needs to be a very good cooperative relationship. I firmly believe that we protect our country with borders. We believe in illegal and legal immigrants, and that those who are aspiring to become legal immigrants, that we want to support them. There are illegal immigrants who are here to take advantage of the system and cause problems, and working in tandem with police force and ICE to eliminate those individuals from our communities is an imperative and should be a focal point. When we start to see problems across the country is when cities and organizations start to fight against ICE, and creating them an enemy and ostracizing them and causing problems. Then you start to see a conflict of they're trying to do their job, what they're tasked to do, and they're causing more problems throughout the process of not getting to the violent criminals, but causing more problems for the counties and communities that they're supposed to be serving.
Again, I go back to the Constitution. There's already laws in place, and the laws state that you come into the country legally. And those who have been requested to leave or have deportation orders, they should leave willingly. I support ICE 100% of the time and what they're doing. We only see the bad stuff in the news. We don't see the good stuff. How many people have left freely just by being asked. We don't see the non-confrontations. We only see the bad confrontations. I support ICE 100%, and I would encourage our own law enforcement to support them as well and give them the resources to support ICE. I'm not saying just because we're a different entity, they're held to the responsibility to uphold the law. We have the law in place. It's the Constitution. We follow the Constitution.
I love this question because I love Sheriff Smith and I support him and I support ICE. He is doing an amazing job. As the mayor, I only know what I know. I had an experience. I got a call at 2:30 in the morning. My chief said we've had this horrible thing happen in Provo. We arrested 17 people. We're taking them to the county jail. Great, go. They're criminals. Get them there. The next day we went out. 16 of them were gone because they were illegal immigrants with horrible, these are the most horrible crimes they had committed. ICE had taken them. We were thrilled. We could not have such an effective impact on this ICE issue in Utah County if it weren't for Sheriff Smith and his team that are working tirelessly to support this and help clean up what is going on. I married an immigrant. We got him his citizenship. There's a path forward. I've lived it, I've done it, and it works. America's a wonderful place, and you can do it. And you can do it right and legally.
I don't know if Sarah Smith's here, I have to be careful because he's my boss. Those of you who haven't visited with me, I've been boss for 42 years. I currently am the deputy with Houston County Sheriff's Office. I believe in law and order. I am in favor of working with ICE to enforce the laws. I think there's been some misuse of power. I think that if we're going to use that cooperation, then it has to be in a way that's lawful and civil and decent. I think sometimes there's too much hate and discontent going on. I think we need to take care of each other. But I am in favor of enforcing immigration laws. We've needed immigration reform for years and years. We don't change that by demonizing the people who are here. We treat them with respect, we enforce the law, we work with ICE, and we work in a cooperative manner to enforce the law, but we do it in a manner that's decent and humane and right.
Thank you.
I, like the rest of you, are for that collaboration as well. I think the big thing is because we, as the people who live here, our citizens here, our priorities need to be first. We pay the taxes, those things. If those people are here illegally, they are potentially benefiting from our tax money, and I think that that's not correct. I think that that's a terrible thing. But I also kind of agree with Larry that we should be civil in the way that we do it as well. There is something about being hard-lined but also compassionate, and I think that's a balance we kind of have to have, but I do support the ICE collaboration.
Okay, Brent, we're back to you, right? Okay, this one I hope you can, it's a broader question, leaves you a little bit of room to expound upon. I want to know, in the large picture, national, what's your big, red button issue, the thing that maybe bothers you the most or you think is our biggest issue, and then county-wise, what do you think is the biggest issue there too? So, 2 parts to that.
I think the biggest issue nationwide is we have too much media that focuses on the negative and is always trying to pull down America instead of putting America first. I think that's a big issue that we need to look at and strive to overcome. I think the county issues are things with high taxes, that we are burdened with high taxes. We need to keep more of the money in people's pockets instead of the politicians' pockets. I've never been in favor of politicians getting rich off the back of the taxpayer. And with some of our salaries and some of the benefits that we get, I think that the taxpayers are overburdened. So those are my concerns.
I'm lucky because I have great relations with that federal delegation, and when you hear what is really going on, it's a whole different story than what we're seeing on the news and the broadcast. So for me, I focus on my job, and my job right now is Utah County, and that's where my focus is. When I think of what the biggest issue is with Utah County, I don't think there's just one. I sit in living rooms in San Juan and up at Bluffdale, and they're not the same. There's a lot of issues. I can just list them. Transportation, infrastructure, high-density development coming in too fast, water issues, taxes. It just goes on and on. It's such a steep learning curve to jump into a position like this. But the beauty of my position is I've been in it for 15 years. I can get my arms around it. I can hit the ground running. I have the relationships. I believe in the collaboration. And I think I not only think, I know I can serve you well.
Going back to kind of what I talked about just a little bit before, I think the biggest issue back in Washington is gridlock. I think it bothers me as much as anything. You look at going to the airport right now and trying to get through TSA, because we can't reach them people back in Washington to find that program. Again, it goes back to that civility. One of my great role models was Ronald Reagan, who was a great communicator. One of the greatest assets was the ability to read across the aisle. Agree to disagree on some things, but work together for the good of the country. And unfortunately, from my standpoint, we're not doing that. The second, as it relates to the county, is we talked about transparency, and I mentioned this before. I think it's accessibility. I think there's a gap between the county commission and you as the voters and the residents of Utah County. I want to close that gap, be accessible, be there to listen to you. Found out in 42 years of law enforcement about people all the time just to listen.
My biggest concern with the federal level is really the divisiveness. I think it's sad to see people hang on one thing where we're very different. I think we need to focus on the things that we are similar and the views and thoughts we have that make us who we are, make us the people. I think once you start dividing people, we start to think of someone as lesser than us. And I think that that's not an appropriate way to treat another human being. As for the local things, I think some of that divisiveness actually still kind of falls down here. And I think we see people, even in our current commission at times, fighting and bickering and not in a constructive way. I think that's the one thing that I've seen, especially also transportation and growth. I think that's something we need to work on better here in our local area.
I'd like to go back to the families. I think at the federal side of things, they've almost forgotten about the family and how it's that's going to be what carries our country into the future. It's becoming, the inflation's getting out of control and they're not cutting back spending. In fact, the deficit is going to astronomical amounts, and that's something that each generation is going to have to pay. So that would be wonderful if we contain that. And zooming to Utah County specifically, it's becoming a bit inaccessible for us to grow our families here and invite families back to Utah County. I think there's an opportunity for infrastructure, for decreasing of taxes, as well as protecting our families. That's crucial to keeping Utah County, and that is obviously the family, and that is what I hope to do.
Okay, this question says, Michelle, this question says, the Utah County Commissioners have increased their annual salary from around $119,000 to over $170,000 plus benefits in just the past 5 years. Do you agree with these increases? What do you think the Commissioner's salary should be and why?
I feel like we've answered this question a little bit already. When I filed on January 2nd to run for the seat, I did not even know exactly what the dollar amount was for the position. Because if anyone is running in a political office for the money, don't vote them in. You don't do it for the money. I'll tell you what, when I did Google it, because someone called and said, did you know how much they just raised their pay? I was shell-shocked. Again, the citizens chose my salary as the mayor. When I went and made a couple phone calls and said, what happened? I don't understand this. They pointed to some policy and a percentage, and my theory is this. If you're going to point to a nationally, let's not. Let's look in Utah County. That's who we are, that's who we're serving. Let's look at the median average of their income and go from there. I think looking nationally doesn't serve anyone well, because we don't want to be that. We want to be Utah County.
Michelle's right, we haven't touched on this in a number of different questions. Yes, I agree that they're too high. Yes, I would agree to a salary cut if I was elected. I believe that this is an opportunity for service. I filed to serve you as a citizen of Utah County. It was not a job application. I'm not looking for a new job. I'm looking for an opportunity to serve you, and I think the county commission is being overpaid right now. So.
I think we should definitely evaluate that. I think we should look at what they're making and potentially make some cuts there. I think that there is some things that we need to also acknowledge is that these people are potentially leaving their full-time jobs to run. But that doesn't mean that they should get paid more necessarily. So I think we should evaluate that, and I'm fine with cutting it back as well. I think probably back to like 2 or 3 years ago, probably what they were, I think would be an appropriate amount of money that they make.
So it's a lot of money, yes. In relative contrasts, I do look at what other people are making who are doing similar roles. Last I looked at it was back in 2022. The commissioner's salary was roughly middle of the pack, just below the around 60th of the most highest paid people in Utah County. So look that up, look at how much people are making, and then also look at the relative value of what we're getting. I would say if we're seeing an increase in salaries, we should see an optimization of Utah County. We should see a lesser tax burden on individuals because they're doing a better job with what we're giving them. So it's relative to what we're getting as the taxpayers. And if we're getting a better Utah County, I would be happy to pay people more to do better for our county, to do better. That being said, optics-wise, totally open to discussing lowering it, finding a better salary for it. I'm doing more with less, and I'm happy to keep doing it with more for less as well.
When I first got into this race and talked with other individuals, I'm the only one that initially put everything on my pamphlet that I was for cutting the commissioner's salary. Now, I don't know what that is. I put 60,000. I don't know if that's fair or not. But I'm not running for a paycheck. I'm running to make the citizens of Utah County have more money in their pocket and be more efficient with our money. I'm for the 5 county commissioners and have them as a part-time position, decreasing that. I'm the only one that has proposed that and shown that the first year, by having that, we would cut $250,000 out of the budget. I would rather see that money going to law enforcement or emergency management or something like that than paying commissioner salaries that are not really protecting you from burglars or thieves or the crime that's out there, but having to go to law enforcement.
I believe first on this question. So the question is in general terms, as specific as you want to get. What are your thoughts on, that's a lot, I know it's SB 54, signature gathering, the caucus convention system, and representative government?
Well, in general terms, I'm in favor of the caucus system. I like the idea that you go to mass meetings and people with similar views and similar ideas elect you to come here and represent their interests and their needs. I like the fact that I have to respond to you, that I have to answer your questions and let you know what I stand for. I had a gentleman come the other day and I asked him what he wanted. He said, I'm not going to tell you because then he would tell me exactly what you think I want to hear. I don't believe in doing that. And so I like the idea that we answer you. You are the ones who are elected by your precincts to come here and find out who the best candidates are. And I believe the system works, and if it's not broke, leave it alone.
I don't really like the signature gathering as well. I think the best thing about the caucus system is that we select people who kind of represent us in our area, and that those people actually spend time to get to know the candidates. I think that's one thing that we kind of lack in some of our other election processes, is that some people don't become informed. I know you guys here are all those people who are wanting to be informed, and I think that that is a good thing. When we start to be uninformed and blindly just pick the people, I think that becomes very ugly very fast. So I think I'm totally for just the caucus system and how that functions.
I'm really grateful for the caucus system. I would not be up here if it weren't for the caucus system. My wife and I were county delegates, and, like 8 years ago when we were newly married, it was a blast. But it really allows for an accessibility for everyone to have a bite-sized chunk of county, state, local governance. If it weren't for it, again, I would not be here. And honestly, my wife was like, "Are you really going to run as precinct chair again?" We're like, "We're only 4 people in this room, so apparently I will be." So, with that being said, it's an opportunity to give a voice and get a vetting voice to all these individuals that appear and everyone running for office. Again, there are other options, and those are laws. I oppose SB 54, and I am grateful for the caucus process, but I do not demonize it. It is an option that can be exercised by individuals, and so I'm going to say try and find the best person possible, and I believe it's through the caucus process.
I think the caucus system is an excellent way to vet the candidates and make sure. As a precinct chair, I spent over 100 hours going to different meetings in this last election and listening to all the people that had views on politics and what they were running for, what they were against. And so I believe in the caucus system. I don't demonize Senate Bill 54 only in one way. If people want to gather signatures, that's great. But they cannot be paid for. You cannot hire a company to go out and collect signatures. You have to go and make sure you have enough family members, enough friends to go out and get the signatures. But to pay for signatures, all you're doing is putting the wealthy back in control and the ones that have the power behind them to get the signatures so you don't have to be vetted by the caucus.
Interesting, when I went to file for this seat on January 2nd, and I went to look at the form, the first box says convention only, and I checked it. And then I sat there and I looked at it and I thought, then it said gathering signatures. And I thought, you know what, I'm just coming off an election where I worked so hard and tirelessly and felt like I was bamboozled. I lost by a couple hundred, felt sick about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do signatures too. If me and my family can't get out there and knock doors and ask to be put on the ballot, what's wrong? And the bottom line, and then I checked both, this and both, because and if you go look it up, it's there, it's hilarious. But I'll tell you what, I thought to myself, I am not coming out fighting this time with both hands tied behind my back. I'm going to go ahead and come out and do everything I possibly can to get the word out how serious I am about this job. And we have worked tirelessly knocking doors, and we've knocked your doors. I recognize some of you.
Okay, so 5 departments are appointed, and commissioners have department portfolios that they're over. How would you balance your oversight with the independence of that department's elected officials?
Yeah, I think that those problems, like we have a specific example I know she's referencing this with the tax rate this last year. And there wasn't, the only oversight really that we could recognize as a whole was probably just the auditor's oversight over that department. But I think that the goal of the county commission is not only to manage the budget, but it's also to manage the departments in general. A lot of those departments that they do manage are ones that are essential to all these other departments that are elected, that do have an elected head. But I also think that that's kind of their role, as they each have a certain amount of departments that they're over, and we need to make sure that those departments are doing their job, whatever is mandated from the state or in our own local laws. We need to make sure that they follow those things.
Two of my favorite books are 7 Habits and Crucial Conversations. Why I cite those two is one is Begin with the End in Mind, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, and Think, What, Win. There's various awesome habits in there, but they come into play especially in circumstances like this, where they're elected individuals, they're trying to do the best and advocate for their departments, for their teams, and they're going to look for a win-win, or at least potentially a win-you-lose type deal. And so I firmly believe that in any interaction, in any difficult, crucial conversation, as long as there's trust, there's mutual opportunity to help each other grow, develop, and build each other, then you can work in tandem to have a win-win. And in this case, it'd be a win-win-win, because as there's a good confidence and an understanding that I, as a county commissioner, have a hope that they can have a win, that I can have a win, and that the county individual can have a win with their taxpayer usage, then that could be a advantageous conversation.
As I said before, and I don't know, and I haven't researched it, but does the county commissioners have a mission statement? Do they have policies? Do they get peer reviews on their job and their performance within? Are we overlooking them and saying, or the other commissioners looking at another commissioner saying, you're over this department? Have you went and visited them? Have you went and talked with them? Have you looked at their budget? Have you checked out the inefficiencies? I would want that, as a county commissioner, instituted, that there's policies, that we police ourselves, and police ourselves strictly, that we make sure that we are doing the job that we told you we would do. And that is, a commissioner comes to me and say, hey, I checked up, and you're not doing the job for your departments that you're over. That tells me I better get in line. And that's policing ourselves, and that's what I think we should do.
So honestly, I'm really looking forward to working with a group of elected officials that are elected by the people because the people trust them. Therefore, my job comes across as I trust them too. If you elected them and you trust them to run that department, the legal department, the public safety, all those, then I trust them too. I am not there to nag and pinpoint and this and that. I am there to be a partner, to help, to live, to collaborate. Let's walk through your budget. Explain it to me. I'm not the professional. You are. So walk me through it and then make the relationship strong enough that we are both open to have dialogue, to talk about it. And I'm telling you, it works. I've seen success when you handle it that way, with more of a we are in this together type method.
I have a distinct advantage with working in the county for the last 15 years to see the department heads and the elected officials up close and personal in my duties. You have good people. The problem sometimes comes because when we become too territorial, we want to protect our section of turf, if you will. As a county commissioner, my responsibility is to kind of work with those different needs and those different wants. There's nothing matter with taking care of your people, nothing matter with taking care of your department. But the bottom line is this is a biosphere. We're all in this together. So a win for the treasurer's office, a win for the auditor's office, a win for the sheriff's office, is a win for the county. And so my job as the county commissioner is to work with the different elected officials. And the ones I've seen, the ones we have in the county right now, are willing to work to make this county successful. But as a county commissioner, that's my job, is to make sure we don't become territorial and look at the best interests of the county.
Okay, thank you very much, Ron Taylor. This question has to do with public-private partnerships, PIDs, also public infrastructure districts. And what do you think is the appropriate relationship between government and corporations and the use of taxes?
I see that those are starting to be used in excess in certain areas of the county and to the detriment of our long-term outlook of our county. We have a lot of cities who have brokered deals at the expense of short-term gain for long-term costs that we as the county will have to pick up, and as taxpayers we have to supplement. And so using it in very limited capacities, encouraging cities to use them very judiciously and to discuss long-term ramifications and what it means that the county will have to do if cities are using them in excess has to be a frank and straightforward conversation, because we don't have much area to spare. We don't have much land to grow. We are using finite resources as water, power, and the like. And so having those crucial conversations and avoiding backroom deals where government officials are trying to work with a company to solve a problem usually makes the problem worse.
PIDs, public infrastructure infrastructure developments and that the developers are doing. All they're doing is passing those costs on that initially they were supposed to take care of before they develop areas. What they've done is they're just passing the cost on to our children when they go to buy an apartment or a home or a condo. That's built into their fees. And so these people are paying over 30 years if they stay in that home for those extra fees. That's not right. They're taking advantage of a situation that should not be given, that's only granted to developers. There used to be a law that those who built homes by themselves would have some type of variances and help. They've taken that out and they've given all the control to the developer. That's not right. We need to control our infrastructure. And by doing that, we stop putting more profit in the developer, more money in the pockets of the developers.
So I'm just looking around the room, there's probably 5 people in here that I know that know what PIDs, LIDs, DIDs, TIFs, RDA areas. Those are the things that come down from the state, all those acronyms, and they all tie into the same pot. And I hate it all. I don't like it. I have seen it, maybe in my years, work once or twice in a positive outcome. Other than that, they're shitty, they're hard. But an interesting point is this, that those land mostly in the municipality's discretion, not so much, unless it's a county piece of property, it lands within the municipalities. There has to be performance-based laws written into them if you're going to entertain one of these, because they're just so risky. And I will hold that line. I held it in Provo, and I would hold it with the county as well.
This is kind of a new concept that I've learned about since I started writing, but I agree they've been misused. I never say never, but the situations I've seen up in post, the PIDs, I think they're a detriment. I think it's unfortunate, particularly since there's a lot of non-disclosure when people are buying houses, are not made aware that there is a PID responsibility that they have, increases their tax debt. Again, I want to never say never, but in most situations I'm opposed to them. I think they need to be controlled. Right now, I think the development is in the county is out of control. We need to take control of that, and this is a good place to start.
I've seen a lot of PIDs, and most of them are coming in Eagle Mountain, in Salem, and those southern parts of the counties that don't have any infrastructure. And I think that PIDs in general, the whole idea of subsidizing a developer to build now rather than later is a terrible idea. We would expect anyone that's running a business to pay whatever they need to figure out what they're doing before they start doing it, and we need them to kind of front that themselves. And then if they have success, then they should reap the benefits. Instead, with a PID, they're reaping the benefits of everyone else. They're saying all of these PIDs last 30 years or something like that. And I mean, part of the reason behind it is so people can think that they're getting affordable housing, when that's really not true either. I had someone call the other day in the office and they asked, why is this home in Salem versus this home in Salem paying a difference of $800 in taxes? And I told them it's because that one is in a PID.
Okay, this will be our last question, and then we will go to 2-minute closings. And then I will give you guys a list of the questions that were left on the table, because sometimes that's helpful when you're ready then. So this question has to do with NGOs and quasi-NGOs. So if you were to be elected, you would quickly be hearing from organizations like the UAC, the Utah Association of Counties, and MAG, and they hold quite a bit of power over counties and the information that they give them. You would also be invited, requested to a lot of committees and meetings, and you would have a travel budget to go to other areas like that. What is your view on your relationship with NGOs that advise counties, and what is your view on time spent at the county versus time spent in other areas with other groups talking about county stuff? So a little bit open that way, but Yeah. And how much weight would you put on those NGOs' opinions and their data? And we're at Dr. Brent.
As we know, NGOs can be a real thorn in our sides and in our pocketbooks. And we all know that NGOs and throughout the country now are being shown that they have defrauded the people. I don't put a lot of weight in NGOs. I think there's a lot of people in NGOs that have devious ideas on how they can enrich themselves off the back of the taxpayers instead of creating their own wealth. So I would not put a lot of trust in the NGOs or spend a lot of time. I'm grateful for their information. I'd be grateful for their data that they have collected, but I don't think I would put a lot of my trust or time in investigating them and using them as a way to promote our citizens.
So you get this same issue down at the local government level as well. And these are special districts. These are your MANs, your MPOs, your water districts, all these different things. And guess what comes with those? You have to pay a fee every year to be a member of them. And that's the part that kills me, because these fees are huge. Now, this is how I always did it. I only know what I know. And as mayor, I would say to my team, listen to me. This is how much they're charging us to be a member of this group and be a voting member. What is the potential of dollars we can get out of them this year? Because if it doesn't meet the fee, then we're not going to do it. If it meets the fee, and certainly if it's a $5 million win versus a $15,000 membership fee, we're going to do it. So you have to look at each one individually and make sure you're not getting taken, and make sure it's going to benefit you, because you need to be in the room and you need to have a vote. There's money on the table. You need to be there so you can grab it to represent Utah County.
Yeah, not all NGOs are evil in intent or outcome. Someone once told me I've never met somebody I couldn't learn something from, even it's how not to be. And so I think it's beneficial to belong to some of those associations. Again, it comes down to a cost-benefit ratio. We're spending your money as taxpayers to belong to those associations. There's got to be some benefit in it for you and for us as commissioners. We'll get some educational benefit out of it, so we're not reinventing the wheel, so we take advantage of information that's out there from other groups. But again, there's a cost-benefit ratio. There's so many different groups you can belong to. You have to pick and choose the ones that benefit us. And the travel, again, I think you have to be very judicious in the use of taxpayers' money traveling to those groups.
I've seen some of the NGOs specifically. We deal with one in the assessor's office on the regular, the Utah Association of Counties. And they actually have been pushing some ideas of collecting all this data on all the assessors, getting us all on the same page, with using specific types of programs. So I think in some ways it's good. In some ways we can say, hey, you know what, like these small counties who may not have the right amount of infrastructure or anything for that, we should be able to try and kind of help the whole state raise. But at the same time, I agree with Larry, we should say, hey, is this benefiting us, or are we just dumping all this into someone else for their knowledge? And I would prefer to spend most of my time here working with us and what we can benefit ourselves. But I think there is some benefit of trying to lift others around us.
That was a meaty question, Christy. Each for 1 minute. They commented on cost-benefit analysis, which we've talked a lot about. What I like to look at is through the lens of how is it benefiting Utah County families, right? Is if you look at an association, a collaboration with a nonprofit or an NGO or whatever is going on, how is it directly impacting and benefiting the Utah County family? If there's no direct tie, there's no direct ROI on the family, then that should be nixed, that should be cut. It's pretty simple. I learned it back at Amazon. They focus on how can they directly transfer the best possible value to their customer, and that's how they can get a package to you within an hour. And so I hope to use that as a county commissioner to focus on how can I directly tie my associations, my collaborations, and my partnerships with direct value to you as the citizen.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the questions now that were left on the table. I'll do these relatively quickly. The commission office has grown 17 to 20 people. Are you looking to reduce, increase, or keep it the same? Tax increment financing to appeal to businesses so they come to Utah County and RDAs. Are you in favor of that or not? Will you give your credit score, and have you ever filed for either personal or business bankruptcy? And what do you consider the gray issues? So federal is outlined in the Constitution, the powers that they should use. State is in the state constitution. And what do you think are the gray issues on county government? For instance, city issues usually come down to property rights. You know, should your neighbor be able to build a fence that you can't see over? And should they, you know, all those paint their house purple and then you feel like your neighborhood value's gone down. Those gray issues that come on county levels. So as you guys talk to them, if some of those questions are appealing, feel free. I did want to take a personal note, speaking of NGOs. I did hear that one of the NGOs that's over cities is recently pushing the Dignity Index and trying to get elected officials to adopt a social credit score for being nice in their political speech. I feel the same way. I just want to keep, that was just information for you guys. So, one more round of applause for our candidates today. We will start backwards, if you don't mind, and we'll have you go first, Taylor, and we will do 2 minutes, and your closing, and then we will adjourn for the lovely Saturday afternoon, and everybody else gets to so, Taylor.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you, everyone, and thank you, fellow candidates. My name is Taylor Fox. You see my little plastic foxes at my table. I got to lean into that in the car because you might not even remember me, but you're like, hey, that guy's a fox. I'll vote for him. So, I am so grateful for Utah County. It's been my home most of my life. I'm grateful for the giants that built this county up to be the amazing place that it is, and I hope to honor them with my direct efforts, whether that's as a potential county commissioner, or if it's as just an average citizen, delegate, precinct chair, and as a father, and as a brother. It's something grandiose that we can, you know, be a part of this process and invest in this process, as you all are on your Saturdays. And I hope to make my potential impact even bigger. I feel like I have the passion, I have the skill set to problem solve, and I have the no drama approach to solving problems. You won't probably hear about, oh, Taylor Fox is off hobnobbing in DC or something like that. That's not going to be me, because I don't want to go to DC because it's evil. But I want to do the best for my county, and I want to do the best for you. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all for coming as well. I appreciate that you guys are willing to spend time of your day to vet the candidates and see what they really stand for. I think that my background in my work at the county assessor's office, and as I've even had the ability to get a master's degree in public policy, where I've learned how to participate in federal and state lawmaking and procedure making. I think that that would be a benefit to you, not just to me, and maybe I could use those things in a beneficial way. I just look forward to getting to know more of you and listening to the questions that you have, and hopefully being able to be a good representative for you. So thank you guys again.
Ditto to what you just said. It's Saturday. I know all of us have a lot of to-do things on our list. For you to take the time to be here, I appreciate. I had a couple of people come through. I've worked for years or worth. Said, "What were you thinking?" Maybe I wasn't. But I love this county. I grew up here. I grew up picking fruit in the orchards in Orem. There used to be orchards in Orem. Most of you may not know that. I don't think that's what it used to be. I love the quality of life here. I love the people here. My father often said, if you don't like the way something's being done, you get up off your backside and do something about it. A lot of good things are being done in this county. We talked about budgets. This county is running pretty lean. I've been very fortunate to work not just with the leaders of the county, but the day-to-day folks, the ones that work in the trenches doing the job. You're well taken care of by some good people in this county. I want to continue that tradition. I want to offer my services to you as residents of Utah County. And I promise if we're given that opportunity, that I will take care of that. And Abraham Lincoln said, if you want to try to find out a man's true character, don't give him adversity, give him power. And I hope to prove that Winston Churchill also said, when age leaves, is wisdom enough? Well, I hope wisdom is enough, and I ask for that opportunity to serve you.
I just want to say that it is so scary and hard to put your name out and run for a public office. So I am just honored to be amongst these great gentlemen that were willing to do it. It's terrifying, and until you've done it, you will never know. I am excited for this position. I am the only one up here that has a track record, and I'm proud of my track record. I have 15 years of voting records and performance-based leadership. I want you to know that I really do put my heart and soul into positions when it comes to serving the public. Born and raised in Provo and Utah County, and it's such a unique spot. We have got to protect. We talked last night about how we were up against this fight day in and day out. We are. We have to protect our agriculture, our farmlands, our beautiful open spaces. We need to place the density where the density belongs. We need to protect our strong neighbors. There's a lot we've got to do. And I want you to know that I have had my hands in this for quite some time, and I have the relationships. I know the pathway forward to get some movement going for Utah County. And I just want to take what I was able to accomplish in the municipality level and lift it and bring it to the city and look back 30 years from now and be proud of the decisions that I was a part of. So I'm Michelle Kafusi, and I'm asking for your support for Commission Seat A, please.
I'll make this short because you're all saying, let's get out of here. I agree. My values, as I said before, is it morally right? Is it ethically right? Is it financially right? And is it a benefit to all? And is it constitutionally sound? I'm running not for a paycheck, but to serve the citizens of this county. I agree with everyone, what they have said, with the people that you have to decide to represent you. Each individual up here, I think, has great integrity, great desires to make this county better, and are going to do everything they can for you. I also look at the candidates for running the seat B, every one of them. I'm very pleased to be able to rub shoulders with them and learn their desire to serve you as citizens. You have a hard choice, and that choice, I hope, will be me. And I thank you for your time and your effort to vet us and get to know us. Thank you.
Okay, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you're not getting communications from us, reach out to your precinct chair. If you are the precinct chair, reach out to your house leadership. Get the information there. Our system works at your precinct level. Get to your house leadership. They'll get you connected so that you're getting all those communication pieces. Also, their websites are linked on our website. Call them. They're going to be going down the list, calling each of you. Save them the trouble and just call them, and then you can have that conversation and ask those hard questions. Also, if this is your first time and it has been a good experience and progress and the process has not been what you thought and it's better, please let those around you know that, and then also give other Republican members, they're welcome to come to this stuff too. And it's open to everybody. You, of course, as delegates have to vote, but they're welcome to join us. And then lastly, is Skylar Beltran and Marion Monahan here? Will they please stand up? These are two previous chairs. Marion has been just somebody that we've all looked up to for a long time. And she's an incredible chair. And Skyland's old family right there. Thank you for your service.
I'm a better job than I did, so.
Thank you very much for giving us part of your Saturday. We will have more platforms at the next clerk debate, April 1st at doTERRA, and we will get you the address for this. And thanks to our great candidates today.
Squeeze by you here. Check, check. Excuse me, let me come through here.
Where are you going to have that?
I've been streaming it to Facebook and YouTube right now.
I've tried to look
the
at
first
some of
few
your
minutes
things
were-
before. Did they block you on YouTube?
I don't think so.
Sometimes before I've tried to find you.
Yeah, it's at Life is Driving, all one word on
Life
YouTube.
is Driving.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, or Friends of Adam Bartholomew on Facebook is where I streamed this
Well,
too. So I posted it in the
I don't
delegates
know, like
page.
the whole
So
furry thing, I tried to find it.
oh yeah, it's on there.
It's on there.
Yeah. Thank you though.
See ya.
See if we can get a couple of questions here. Can't really see my key here. That's kind of a bummer.
She was here before me. Ask all the questions you want. Are you county delegate or state?
I'm county and I'm also in your state.
Oh, fun.
I do appreciate it.
Would you like the three as well?
Yeah, because I voted against it.
Good idea.
I mean, I understand the arguments about curing, but the thing for me is like, if you have, if you're very passionate about this, let's say the person in the mountain for a tax call something and someone saying they want to smash for like me, then maybe you should go talk to your county commissioner and set up a time where you can go try to go to the meeting. I understand it's easier said than done, but that there is, you know, obviously a way for that.
Yeah, I think that's something I realize is that there's good and bad for all. Like, the one, you have more people, there's more funding that's going to. We might better represent people, but also at the same time, like, right now you can vote for all three of us, right? Where if you change the system, we might only be able to vote for two. So I guess there's some plus and minuses.
Spanish Fork.
I like it down there. We're not too far from the Walmart. So,
Okay, perfect.
it's nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thank you for your time.
Sir. Yeah. Adam Bartholomew, precinct chair down in Payson.
Okay, nice.
You know, mind if I put you on camera here?
Sure.
We've been streaming the debate to YouTube and Facebook and to the delegate groups and stuff.
Okay, nice.
So one thing that I didn't hear asked is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Charlie Kirk trial that's going on.
A little bit.
What do you think about this county so far committing to pay $350,000 for the defense, and then meanwhile the defense is asking to close out the courtroom to all media? You know, it's kind of like a.
Yeah, I think that something like that should be televised. I don't see anything wrong with that. We are in this weird place, right, of where we're saying we are tasked with giving people public defense and public prosecution, and it's hard to say. But if we're going to take taxpayer money and deal with it, I think the taxpayer should know what's happening.
Fair enough. What do you think about this cost could balloon? I've seen upwards as much as $2 million that we end up paying. Like, where's the cap on that? If somebody's declared indigent and they're not able to defend themselves in a high-profile case like this that happens in the county, what's the limit, that the county has to pay for something like this?
Yeah, I don't know if there is, really. I know that they've tried to kind of collect some extra money through, like, a grant or something like that through the state. I don't know enough to speak to that, really.
Gotcha. What do you think about I know there was a lot of discussion about the salaries for the commissioners. What do you think about tying it to the median income of the county instead of this? Right now, it's like $159,000, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with I'm open to all kinds of things like that. I like the idea of, this is such a large jump from where I am that, like, for me, I'm fine with taking a smaller salary as well. So.
I think the median income in the U.S. was like $49,000 or something. If it was something like $49,000, would you still be inclined to run?
Probably a little bit, but I think if it changed the type of government it is, then I would be more inclined to run. Because I'm a young father. My wife and I have 5 kids, and I know $40,000 in the state of Utah or $45,000 isn't enough, right? So that's where I'm like, I'm for the idea of bringing it down a little bit, but also at the same time, like, we have to compensate people appropriately. If it's a full-time job, like, we're expecting them to put in 40 to 60 hours a week dealing with county issues, I think we should compensate them appropriately.
Fair enough. What do you do right now?
I work for the county assessor's office.
Doing what do you do exactly?
I'm their general manager, so I oversee all their staff that interact with the public and dealing with their tax questions and concerns. I oversee the people who deal with business personal property, which is property that businesses pay tax on that is a state legislative thing.
Sounds really boring.
It can be at times. But I enjoy it. I enjoy working with the people. I enjoy talking with the taxpayers and helping them through the process, because the process is not very easy to navigate on your own.
Cool.
So someone there that knows what's going on, I enjoy that, helping them say, hey, yeah, you're having struggles with paying your taxes. These are some options, and this is how you can try and correct it. I like that part of it.
Cool.
So that's why I'm running, really. It's really to just kind of...
And what's your name?
I'm Richard.
Richard
Smith.
Richard Smith. Where do people find you?
You can find me at Smith for Utah County at smithforutahcounty.com. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Hey,
Sorry,
thanks, man.
I'm
Appreciate
tripping
it.
over my own words.
Stay in your lane, do your job, trust the others to do their jobs that citizens elected. And I'm telling you, it works. What happens is if people get too much power and think they know too much, if they start doing this stay in your lane, do your job, gain the respect of others, and everyone starts recognizing situations.
Farmer B lost his one horse, doesn't have the right to go to his next door neighbor and force him to say, he's actually ask. But he doesn't have those rights.
By the people, set by the citizens, and the delegates.
We don't have those rights.
Just know your job and do it, and do it well. Because if you do your job well, the whole county's going to be So again, it goes back to that portfolio that I learned about, that they all put points on the table, all the responsibilities, and they divide it up in 3 ways. And my hope is I get infrastructure, all the ugly stuff nobody wants, because I'm really good at that, and I understand it. So I fight for that. I'm not with fluff stuff. I love the road and the county fair. I know the mission. And I'll tell you, the bigger issues are the ugly, expensive issues probably is roads, that's water, it's all that. It's all that. And that's a necessary thing. And it's because I was the elected president of them, and I'm actually as a president of all the municipalities. But I know these mayors, I respect these mayors, I understand the job they're doing, it's hard. And so as far as the collaboration, I'm already there with it.
Hey. Adam Bartholomew, precinct chair down in Payson.
Okay.
Mind if I get you on camera for the stream?
Sure.
Cool. What's your name?
Brent Bowles.
Where do you live?
I live in Springville, up Hubble Creek Canyon.
Okay, cool. There's been a lot of talk about the commissioner's salary up here. It's been a hot topic in the last elections as well. If the commissioners were to have put up another pay raise, would you vote against it or for it?
I would vote against it.
What do you think about tying the pay raise to, tying the pay, reducing it and tying it to the median income in the county?
I think that's a good plan, my plan, and I'm the only one that brought this out initially when I started to run, and then now it's been a big buzzword because a lot of people are asking that. As I said, we cut the county commissioners' pay in half, or down to $60,000 with the 3 commissioners, and then go to 5 commissioners that have representation in each county and divide up in districts, and cut their pay down to a reasonable level and have better representation for each part of the county instead of kind of more central. So I was the first one that brought that up, and now it's kind of been the buzzword. A lot of people are saying, well, yeah, I'm for that too, decreasing the salary. But I'm the one that's saying I'm not running for a paycheck, I'm running to serve. So that's my opinion.
What if we brought the salary down to the median income of the United States, it's like around $49,000 or $55,000? Would that make you less inclined to run for the office?
No, not at this point in my life. Maybe it would as a younger individual when I was raising a family and that, because you can't survive if the pay's too low, and provide for your family. That's why I'm running now, is I've made my career, I've put myself in a financial position that I can do this. I can take a lower salary and still live very nicely with my salary. These young people that are getting into politics, my concern sometimes is, are they getting into politics to enrich themselves because there's good money in politics, or are they doing it to actually serve? I waited until I'm retired. I'll retire the end of this year, depending on what happens with the election. And if I'm voted in, I'm going to retire, and I'll devote my full-time efforts to making the county a better place and trying to lower taxes and be more efficient.
What is your career? What do you do for a living?
I do anesthesia.
Okay. You put people to sleep.
I put people to sleep. In fact, I've told many people, I come home from work one time and I said, I can't do this anymore, dealing with people. They're whining and that. I just got to put them to sleep and be done. So my wife says, well, you better change. So I changed careers, and I went into anesthesia. I talked with people for 5 to 10 minutes and put them to sleep, and then they're passed on. And so for me to do this was one of those things that I couldn't just sit back anymore and watch our political system kind of go array with increase in taxes, government inefficiency.
Maybe put our tax increases to sleep.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Put them to sleep permanently. But I decided about a year ago, after talking with the commissioners that were elected 4 years ago and a couple years ago, when I asked them about increasing taxes and their salaries, they all gave me the answers that no, they were very satisfied with the salaries. No, they wouldn't want tax increases. They gave the typical answers. And then all of a sudden, their salary went from $120,000 to $160,000. If you look it up, we are the highest with county commissioner salaries. Think about this. Senators, U.S. senators and U.S. congressmen make $174, roughly close to $175. Our county commissioners are making almost $166,000. They're only, what, $12,000 away or less than what a congressional senator and House of Representatives make. And what do? They're not working full-time for this position. They're probably putting in part-time hours. And then they increased the amount of people coming in to make the county commissioner, quote, more efficient, when actually they just brought in more people, paying big salaries, brought in a county administrator and pay them a large salary, and just put another line of bureaucracy between the county commissioner and the citizen. If I'm elected, the county people will have access to me. If they want to meet with me, I'll meet with them.
I don't know if you've been following the trial of the alleged murder of Charlie Kirk at UVU, but it came out in the news the other day that so far the county's committed to pay already a $350,000 bill for the defense, and the defense is asking to lock cameras out of the courtrooms and do everything in secret. Like, it seems like a kind of a conflict there. What do you think of that?
Oh no, I think the cameras, this is public. Criminal activity is public information. When somebody gets arrested, you can look them up, find them. Why are we saying this, that he's going to say, well, we're not giving the individual a fair trial? I think he will get a fair trial based on evidence and that. So no, I think cameras should be in there and letting the people know what happened. It was a horrible tragedy what happened.
So I heard the bill likely will go up to at least $500,000, but it could balloon to as much as $2 million for this defense. What do you think about that? $350,000 to $2 million, and where's the limit? Where that we, the taxpayer, are forced to endure for something like this.
Well, that's one of the things that they went to the state. The county went to the state and asked them, because this is going to be such an expensive trial that they need state help to fund this. I think that's wrong. I think there needs to be a limit. A lot of attorneys that take these cases say, well, it's only to give them a fair trial. Well, if that's the case, what about the people that aren't in the media, aren't the big people in the news, and they get injured or something happens to them? Do they have these high-powered attorneys and these big attorneys defending them? No, they're nobody. They're just common citizens. So are they getting a fair trial versus the Charlie Kirk trial? Have to weigh that. I think, in my opinion, there needs to be a set price that if you are a defense attorney on, like the Charlie Kirk, there should be a maximum that you can bill for. This is what you can bill for, period. If you believe that this individual is truly innocent, then put your money where your mouth is. Do it for what's being willing to be paid instead of carrying motions on and over and over and over, only to be able to bill more to the taxpayer for those services, when in reality it's just court play. It's frivolous stuff that just extends those attorneys' salaries. So In my opinion, I think there should be a set of the maximum amount that a defense attorney could bill for any type of case.
Thank you very much. Where do people find you at?
You can reach me at bvbowles@gmail.com, or you can reach me on my cell phone at 801-369-5435.
Brave guy putting it out there.
Well, I look at it this way. If I'm running for a commission seat and represent the people need to be able to get a hold of me.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
Appreciate you running.
Who do you like? Are you a county delegate?
I am a precinct chair.
Precinct chair.
Yeah.
So who do you like?
Who do I like in this race?
I know we're literally right by one of the candidates. But
I don't know. She definitely, I think she dominated the discussion here. So, but I'm not really sure. Like the first guy I talked to, I can't remember his name. He seems pretty good. He currently works for the auditor's office. Michelle, let's get you on camera. See who you like. Who do you like? Paul Dayton.
am I on camera right now?
No, your camera's facing this way.
No, I
Michelle, can I get you on the stream here?
Tell me who you are and everything.
I'm Adam Bartholomew,
Thanks for the
precinct chair down in Payson.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
Mayor Wright is one of my favorite people in the
Oh,
world.
yeah?
Well, I'm coming down there for a bunch of stuff for
You
this
are?
seat, but I love Mayor Wright so much, and his wife. I mean, I might cry thinking about them because
Yeah?
I love him and his
Okay.
wife. Anyways, we love Payson. And that salmon supper,
Oh yeah, you gotta love the
Now
salmon
my-
supper.
now my mouth's watering.
Hey, couple questions for you. There's been a lot of discussion about the salary of the commissioners. You know, it's up close to 166,000.
Dying over that.
What do you think about if there's another move to raise the salary? Will you vote no against that or vote yes?
I will vote no against that. In fact, if I get into the seat, we're going to take a deep dive in how they got to that number. I filed not knowing what the salary was, because as a mayor, the citizens in Provo vote your salary. So you just don't worry about it. If you're running for an public office because of the salary, get out. You're running for the wrong reason. Like I said, I went and filed. I had no idea what the salary was on January 2nd. When I saw it, it kind of knocked the wind out of me. So yeah, that's going to be one of the first things we take a deep dive in is how did we get to this number? This phenomenally humongous number.
What do you think about tying it to like the median income in Utah County?
That was my suggestion. After I talked to a couple of county commissioners and said, explain to me how we landed here, because I'm getting it asked a lot. That's what I came back to was, why aren't we looking at the median income for the people we serve? Let's see how much they're making, and then let's go with them. Let's be one of them instead of this off the chart.
Yeah. What if we put it at like the median U.S. income, $49,000? Would that make you less inclined to run for the seat?
Oh my gosh, I have ran for seats. I have been on the school board. By 2 months in and paying to be on the school board for gas money.
Yeah.
The money is not why I do this at all whatsoever. My husband will tell you I wear a sticker that says we'll work for free because I will. That's how much I care about this community and the county and doing the right thing. It's never been about the dollar.
Gotcha. I don't know if you're following the case, the trial against the accused killer of Charlie Kirk at UVU.
Well, we were the headquarters for the FBI and for all the federal delegations that came out and our airport, so we were tied tightly to all of that.
I saw in the news that so far we've committed as a county to pay $350,000 for the defense. Meanwhile, the defense is arguing to close out the media from the courtroom and keep it all in secret. It kind of seems to me like a little bit of a conflict there for us to be paying, but then not have the right to see that.
Drives me crazy. Transparency is where it's at. What are you afraid of? You're paying for it. You should be able to see it. You should see it live. You should be there. It's our dollars that are funding this. The public needs to be able to see it and have access to it. Again, in 15 years of elected offices, come on in, film me, watch me, record me, because hold me accountable. We need to hold them accountable. I always have felt like if someone says, no media allowed, no cameras, then what are you hiding? That's just because, I don't know, that's where I go to immediately.
I heard that we're likely going to be on the hook for at least $500,000 for this, and that cost could balloon up to $2 million, and that the county's actually reached out to the state for assistance in that potential bill. Where's the limit? Like, what's the cutoff Like that for us, the taxpayer, to have to defend somebody like this.
Well, I just feel like, first of all, right out of the gate, we probably shouldn't be paying a dime. We should ask the federal government to cover this and start there and work our way down and figure out a way to have outside funding take care of this.
One of the other guys made a comment, and it kind of made me think, about the average Joe that gets prosecuted for some other, whatever reason. It kind of sets precedent, for this paying for these high bills, versus what would traditionally be like a public defender.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if we could come up with some type of a policy that is more point specific with dollar amount cutoffs. Because then that protects you. If you have a policy that wraps around that says once you hit $100,000, at this point it jumps to this form of funding and this method of funding. Once it jumps to $300,000, now we jump to this form of funding. There's policy that we could come up with and wrap around this for protections.
Gotcha. I kind of feel like personally, I feel like the attorney, gets to build notoriety off this while cashing in on the taxpayer dime,
That's painful, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
So I worked with this county attorney when my officer got shot, Joe Shinners, when I was mayor. And he had to go, and we had to go to court for years to fight that one on who the gentleman that had killed our police officer. And I mean, for me as the mayor working with him, Attorney Gray at the time, it was a wonderful working relationship. Now I have not taken a deep dive into this one with the Charlie Kirk. I've heard these huge numbers coming out of the county, but again, I don't think that should come off the taxpayers' backs. I think we need to maybe federal government funding. There's got to be buckets of money that can cover this, so it's not coming out of yours or my wallet. That doesn't make sense when it's this large of a case. This is not just, and I'll tell you, the day of, this became, I watched it evolve because I was there. It started as Orem City, county, state, federal, national news, then international news. When it's something that significant, the buckets of money to pay for it should come from that large of an outreach. It shouldn't come out of us.
Yep. Shifting gears a little bit, excuse the pun, the transportation problem, like I know that we had in years past talks about like a causeway across the lake. What do you think about the Mountain View corridor, extending that down on the backside of Utah Lake to connect to I-15, give us another route going north?
Well, we need routes, and I've been out in meetings in Eagle Mountain, and I've got one down in Santa Quin this week. I love being in living rooms because I say, what would you do? If you were going to solve this problem, what would you do? We have heard some amazing solutions. I think we get so tied up in, well, we just expand and eminent domain and this and that. No, there is some creative thinking like that. Get out ahead of it before we have to do eminent domain.
Yeah, we got to get ahead of it.
We got to get out ahead of it.
We're already like max capacity every day.
I'm telling you, it's driving me crazy that development wasn't halted. It should have been halted until the infrastructure was in place to manage the amount of development permits that were given out.
Yeah, I like that idea. Where do people find you?
Everywhere. I put my cell phone number. I've only had a personal cell phone my whole career. And my husband tells me I give my cell phone out to God and country, and I do, because I want people to talk to me. So my cell phone is 801-319-4999. And then my email is just my name. I just make it easy, michellecafusi@gmail.com. And
cool.
I have a pretty good 48-hour turnaround.
Do you have a website?
I do. Team Kafusi.
Team Kafusi? How do
Yep.
you spell your last name?
That's the trick. This is
Right?
why
That's
it's
what I
so
wanna know.
hard. So I had to teach my children this as well. It's K-A-U, F as in Frank, U-S-I.
Okay.
It's that second U that everyone forgets. So
Where's that name come from?
I'm married to a cute little Tongan.
Okay. Cool. Funny. Cool. Well, nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
thanks for
And
showing
if
up for
you
the
see
debate.
Mayor Wright, just send my love to
Oh,
him.
I will.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey.
So when you were
You put it on Facebook?
Yes, we're live on Facebook right now and on YouTube. So we're
If I want to find the video.
Friends of Adam Bartholomew on
I
Facebook.
have you there, but it's
Yeah,
not on Facebook.
yeah, and it's on YouTube at Life is Driving.
My daughter doesn't have
Facebook, but she goes, she can watch
The
YouTube.
stream started
She's
late,
out there.
so the stream started late, you guys, but I will post up the full recording that has the first half of it on there and make sure everybody's got it out there. So,
Friends of Adam.
Friends of Adam Bartholomew. Yeah, I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got. Oh, I was just listening and like learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking. I got this.
Who did you think was the best in the debate?
Well, it's hard to tell, because there are people that didn't have experience. You have mayors, and you want experience, but at the same time, you want people that respect the Constitution. And we want what is best for the Utah County. I'm tired of paying taxes. I'm tired that commissioners raise their salary twice. There's so many things going on, and
So far, everybody I've asked says that they will vote no against his salary, and they're actually, the three that I talked to after the fact said they're all in favor of a salary decrease. So, I don't know. You always got to take that with a grain of salt, you know?
Well, sometimes...
What people say they're going to do and what people do sometimes is very different.
Yep.
Surprise.
It's interesting that some people want to have 5 commissioners. I like the idea to every commissioner focus in different areas because, for example, in Eagle Mountain is different things that you live in Provo, right? But at the same time, you don't want 179,000 times 5, right? Now, if they're going to do full time, they need to have a time for people to come and talk.
I hate going to Eagle Mountain. We need like a
don't
6-lane.
say that.
We need a 6-lane freeway going out there right now.
A bridge would be nice, right?
A bridge across the lake. Going. I'm all in favor. Pave the lake and put a causeway out to Eagle Mountain.
I think even a farmer can decide something as a project manager and say, hey, if we're going to have something, we need to have roads first. Instead of right now, like we're going to another school, took me half an hour. And I'm from Eagle Mountain.
I just hate going out there because of the traffic. It's so bad.
But even, I think...
All times of the day, anytime, it doesn't matter what day of the week, you go out to Eagle Mountain, you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, people love so much Eagle Mountain, they're coming to move. I mean, you see the growth.
True.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The growth is amazing.
If you go there at like midnight, I've done that sometimes. It's still like a long
Oh,
drive.
yeah.
So like I think a
Well, that
bridge would be
shortcut
fantastic.
over the mountain is nice, but I wish
What
they,
shortcut?
Over the mountain, when you come 73, you can get off there and then you go to Porter's. So it would be nice if somebody thought about this 5-6 years ago. I live in Eagle Mountain for 19 years. And it would be nice if they said, let's go plan to have the road first so we don't have this collapse. And now even though they say, oh, we have the money, we're going to build. Yeah, but now it's kind of hard because you want to get out, you need to wait, or you just need to spend more gasoline. And gasoline prices going up right now. But that happened with Biden too, and we have to, nobody said nothing. And now if it goes up a little bit,
I'm hoping it's short term and we have in 90 days, gas is back down to where it was. That's what I hope.
Oh, I think it's just a short-term thing. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Talking about like the gas prices, I think I actually think Trump is like I was very skeptical of the tariffs, and I still I don't. That's not my world at all. But I think everything he's doing with like Venezuela and Iran are like brilliant. I think people don't understand like not only that, but I think it will set us like globally much more powerful, but it also weakens like Russia, weakens China. But also, it's sending a clear message to the world: don't mess with America. That's an underestimated.
Petrodollar's got to be number one.
Finally, we have
But
somebody.
also, I mean, think about it. Like with weak Biden, that's when like Russia's like, you know what? Biden's not gonna do anything if we invade Ukraine. That's when Hamas attacked like Israel. Weak U.S. president says to all the other people, we can do what we want. We're looking at like China, like looking at like Thailand and stuff. The world right now is getting the message: don't mess with us. We will take you out like that. And so but not only that, like it will be like a smart idea for us. Like Iran, like ravages the Islamic regime has been like ravaging their own people.
Plus, that's been a cash route for Russia.
Right. Well, so when they send drones to Russia, which have been like attacking, that's the drones that they use. They're Iranian drones that they use, as far as I understand, in the war with Ukraine. Right. So maybe Russia's going to come to the table now that like because of this. China gets like a lot of their gas on the cheap from Iran. Like overall, this is a massively win for us. Everyone's looking too short term. Oh, gas. Oh, like it's like think beyond the box and like all this like America first. It's like America first doesn't mean America only. And long term, this is America first. Like people just like they're just too small minded. They don't know. I think everything that Trump's doing with Venezuela and Iran are brilliant. And now like Cuba's uprising against their like. It's sending a message to the world that just take sometimes a couple like strong leaders and then the like less strong leaders like we can do that too. It's inspiring. It's like I'm so for that. As far
Every
as like
president should have every country the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can talk endlessly
Gasoline
about
is
that.
gonna
Like,
be-
I know
Yeah.
global politics a lot
Yeah.
better than.
Yeah.
I just moved back to Utah, so I'm like trying to figure all this out. But like,
Cool.
I have a unique perspective because like I lived in California for a little bit, New Zealand for half a year, and then I went to like England for like 12 years. So I actually have dual citizenship after living and working there for. So like I know about the immigration process. I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Well, I
Anyone
wanna
that's
go
lied on
immigrate.
their visas or their immigration application about not having connections with like terrorist organizations, absolutely revoke those those visas, green cards, anything. Like they've lied. You've knowingly lied when you apply for this, and you're like, you know, like all that stuff. We're way too soft. And going back to like the whole like ICE thing, I think I was the one that was like, boo, like I not because I don't think we should be humane, but because no organization's perfect, and the media like vilifies ICE by finding any little discrepancy they have when they're constantly harassed by all these idiots. Like there are going to be mistakes. There is going to be people that
There's
like
people going every morning at 4 a.m. to
Right.
the ICE facility and harassing people as they show up to work right now.
Right, and that's going to cause problems, and that means and anytime there is a problem, it's like suddenly all over the news. No organization is perfect, and the fact that like the media is intentionally nitpicking these things just because it's one of the things that Trump was the most popular on and vilifying them over it, I'm like, boo, boo. Like what they did, sure, is not appropriate, but why are we magnifying that? Why are we putting these magnifying glasses on there when there's all these illegal criminals that are being like hundreds of them that are being like deported? Like I am happy with a Darwin Award-winning Pretty and Good who have nothing better to do with their lives than vilify the law enforcement. I'm happy with those people, like as sad as it is, if it comes at the, like one, it's unnecessary, they don't need to be doing that, but like I'm happy if there's these idiots that's the best thing they can do with their lives at the expense of all these criminals we're getting rid of out of the country. Should we look at other policies that like someone's abuelo or this person or that person that shouldn't be deported? Maybe, but like the irony of this, and the news is not being honest about it, is the states that are working with ICE, there is no violence, you know, and they're not going door to door picking up like abuelos and stuff. They're picking up the criminals because the states are working with them, and the ones that are sanctuary states or cities, those are the ones that ICE are forced to go door to door rather than working with the courts and the jails and stuff to pick up the worst of the worst and send them out. Like, and then me just not being honest about that. But what you have noticed is that like a lot of we don't have a problem at the border now because everyone's looking at what's going on with ICE and like, well, if we come to America, we're going to be turned away or we're going to be caught and kicked back. So like enforcing the laws that we already have this weird way of making everyone around the world respect the laws and not break the laws, be a lot less likely to.
What's
so
your
like Keenan.
Keenan, hey, nice to meet you, man.
Likewise. So
I
like
know, he has
we've met
his
before.
brother, Luisa Bennett.
as far as the debates, like my like fresh take, because I don't know these people and I'm new, I would say that obviously.
Thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle to me is like the most polished for sure, and I'm leaning towards her. But then Brent was also really good. Really like him. My third pick would be I didn't catch the guy's name. I think it was Brent, Michelle, Larry. That next guy I didn't know, and then Fox. Was it Richard Smith?
Yeah,
Richard Smith. Would be
yeah,
my
Smith.
third.
I just talked to him. He seems pretty good.
I think he's great. He'd be my third choice, and
I think Michelle
Fox-
dominated personally.
I personally think she's the most like
She has experience, you know.
Yeah, she has experience in speaking like this in a forum like this. For
Well, that's
sure.
what I was saying I was saying next to my friend, Christy Michelle, who had to go. I was like, you know, it's funny because I think she's really polished at like flexing in a really like non-braggadocio way, where she's like, all these people are great and stuff, but like she'll throw down like all the terms, showing I know what I'm talking about. Like yeah, I think she has a
Brent's
really,
an anesthesiologist, and he said he would put our tax increases to sleep. So I really like that.
Yeah,
That's the first guy, right? The first guy.
yeah. He was the one on the most
I really
left. He's
for me, it's
great.
between these two.
Yeah, if Michelle were
That's my other two.
exactly, if Michelle went there, I'd easily pick him probably. And then I think Richard Smith has a lot of great ideas, a little bit on the fresh side. And then same with Fox. I think he's probably has a great career, but I think he's too green. And I think Larry is like a nice guy, but just soft, undecided,
Yes.
like a little bit like I think he's a little bit too neutral with everything.
Yeah.
I think like I would love to get more involved with these kind of things. I think one of the weaknesses, some of the people seem to be a little bit too anxious to say, oh, I'll do what you guys do, and a little bit less forthcoming with their opinion. I think both of those are strong. Like for me, I want to know what you think, but also that you would like do the will of the people. I think a lot of them would be like, well, this is how I feel. But at the end of the day, it's you guys decide. I think too often, anyway, you get a mix of them where people are just like, well, whatever you guys say. That's not the strongest point.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think you should say these are the strengths. like even with the 3 versus 5, like if you would ask me, I would say, well, the strength of the three people is that, you know, like less confusion and quicker decisions, but the strength of the 5, more potentially good ideas, but also, as they said, they represent a broader area, not just 3 cities or whatever. Because let's face it, like if you're on one end of the county, you know, you're just naturally going to be more biased to your area, you know, or like the topic about the money. At the end of the day, the reality is you get what you pay for, right? And so if you're going to be paying people less, you might attract less people, less really qualified people. But I think it's still better to have pay cuts because I think that there are people like Brent Bowles who aren't in it for the money. And I think it's at the end of the day, there are people that genuinely want to serve and not be paid well, or don't care about the money as much. That's what I should say. And you will get Brent Bowles like standing up. That's like, let's have a pay cut. I'm not doing that for this. I'm doing this because I genuinely want to serve. So I think that it's good to acknowledge all of that. Like the reality is that sometimes you might attract people who are less qualified, less competent. You know, but is 170 or 166 too much? Probably. I think we can get a lot of really qualified people who want to serve for a lot less than that. Like Brent Bowles. Yeah. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your input.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where are you delegate out of?
I actually don't know the district. I'm in Orem.
Okay. Cool.
I think it's 26 or something. But yeah. I'm in the little Orem area. I'm actually in the same county as with the mayor, the previous Orem mayors, the Youngs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kathy Young is like helping mentor me and stuff.
Well, thanks for your input.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice
like
to meet you.
I'm new to this area and stuff, but I love I love global politics. I love
Cool.
U.S. politics.
Yeah.
Having lived in England, I'm like watching like England just slowly be Islamified. I'm like, what is going
man,
on?
That's a big problem.
What are
there.
you guys doing?
Yep,
Like,
yep.
I think they know what they're doing
Yeah.
actually, and I just think it's some globalist morons that are either like unethical and selling the country out. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, like, it's suicidal. It's absolutely suicidal.
Yep.
I don't understand. You think you're going to be, like, in Iran, that's what happened in Iran. I don't know if you know that, but, like, the leftists supported the Islamic regime.
Yeah.
And some of the first people
As soon as
they
they got
took
into power, they took him out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you guys not realize
Yeah.
that you think you're going to have a cushy spot or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
but as soon as they take over, you do not share values. You're for all the, like, the transing and all this other stuff. Like, you will be the first to go, at least some of the first to go once they take power. How dumb are you?
Yep.
Like, how trusting like, you should know better. You should know better because you're in politics and you're obviously a dirty character if you're doing these kinds of things. Why do you think you're safe? Or like, you're not. It's very short term, and like with the rate it's going, it's not like you're going to outlive it, and even your kids are going to have to deal with it. You're going to deal with it.
True.
Anyway, I'm just like, all this stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could talk about politics forever.
Yeah, we should talk again.
What's your name?
Adam Bartholomew.
Oh, you are Adam Bartholomew.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah. So you're like, you're having a voice on social media, huh?
Yeah, I'm a precinct chair down in Payson, so not everybody can get to these, especially my delegates. Like, sometimes it's hard to even get people to commit to be a delegate, so putting it out there so everybody can see. I think we made a big difference in the last commissioner race, getting Skylar Beltran to, over the finish line.
You'd be a good person to speak to then. So you favor Michelle then, huh?
I don't know who, I went into this thinking that she was my least favorite.
Really? How come?
I don't know. I mean, you just hear stuff online. You hear stuff in the Republican circles. This person's a rhino, that kind of thing. But to listen to her talk, I think that she definitely dominated the discussion. So,
in a very soft, subtle way.
Yeah, in a soft, subtle way.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like that.
Or in a polished way. Like, it was not. She didn't.
I want someone that's going to be assertive, but at the same time, someone that's going to stand by what they've committed to with the delegates.
Yeah.
So. And I think we got that with Skylar. Like he has done the things he said he would do, and so I want to get another person in there that is going to do that. And the worst thing is to get someone in there that says they'll vote no on tax increases, they'll vote no on a pay raise, and then they get in there and vote yes.
The two things I like.
And they have all these justifications. So
the two things I like about her is that she, one, she said that she was just outvoted by a couple hundred because she was too Republican for Provo, which drives me bonkers that happened, and two, that she won like best managed city in the States or something like that, like crazy. So she's obviously good at what she does.
I think when you look at someone like John Curtis, who was the former mayor of Provo, and everybody looks at him as kind of a Democrat in disguise, and so that was kind of probably my natural inclination with Michelle coming in. Oh, mayor of Provo, instant no, because we don't want another John Curtis.
I don't know enough about John Curtis.
Congressman. Senator, former congressman, and in a lot of ways he's a Democrat. He supports amnesty for illegal aliens.
I think Curtis and Cox are the ones that not high on the list.
John Curtis is like a Mitt Romney 2.0.
Okay.
So he's like the antithesis of Mike Lee, and I think we need another Mike Lee and not another Mitt Romney, in my opinion. So when I think about Mayor of Provo, I'm like, oh, instant no because of John Curtis. So I think she kind of dispelled that a little bit, but
I like her. Right after I met her,
we got a ways to go. So
right after I met her today, I ran into someone who was like, "Oh no, she's like totally establishment bond." I was like, "Really?"
Correct. See, I've heard that. Yeah.
Right, and then she's like, and she was like bad mouthing and stuff. And maybe some of those things are bad, and you need to look into them. But then we just started talking. She started going into like Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, and I was like, "Oh, you might be a bit of a crazy person." So I don't know. Yeah. I was actually at the Charlie Kirk thing.
So was I.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was interviewing protesters up on the upper balcony when it happened. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I was talking to them about why they're there protesting against Charlie, and then I got thrown. Everybody took my video and made tons of conspiracies out of it, and I criticized Candace Owens for using my video to
good for you.
To go after people, and then when I criticized her for using my video, I didn't care that people are using my video. It's that they're without credit, but when they're using it to go after like a random guy in a green hoodie, and then he gets doxxed on the internet by her followers, that's what bugs me. And then she trashed me on her show and put me into the conspiracy. Says I'm, I just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and I must not love my wife because of my reaction, and I'm like,
she's
just lied about me. Just lied about me. She aired my son's face 3 times on her show as in a vindictive way after I criticized her, and I'm like, they use you for the conspiracy until it runs out of the juice, and then you become the conspiracy.
I liked her because when she first popped up, like seeing her interviews and with like Congress and stuff, and she was really sharp and really held the room, and I was like, wow, this is a power to be met with.
Yep.
But she has gone crazy.
Totally.
She is I think she suffers from the fact. I mean, maybe she's just right about that one thing. Even the broken clock's right twice. Twice a day. I think she might suffer from the fact that she got really famous really fast, and she thinks every idea she has is brilliant.
Yep. Well, she always says this. My platform is platform of the people. It's a platform of God, kind of thing. Jeremy Boring did a really good segment talking about her, and I think he really kind of hit the nail on the head, saying that audience capture is she's the definition of audience capture. Anywhere her audience she kind of pushed back. Back in December after a meeting with Erica Kirk, and she got a bunch of pushback from her fans, and then immediately decided, this is what the fans want, and so she's been going hard after her ever since.
It's so sad when I get it to some extent. If you want to be an influencer, you if no one's listening to you, you're not doing that. But it's so sad when you become a slave to your audience. I think that's what happened with.
That's what I see when I see what she's doing. I think she's just a slave to the audience.
That's what happened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? It's how the hell can you argue for this whole trans thing? You're a scientist.
Yep.
How many scientists have caved to this absolute nonsense? You can argue from a different point of view and look, blah 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 blah. Oh, soft sciences, they think that they're this way, blah, blah. But he's like, oh no, we should just I think we instead of categorizing people in competitions in women's sports by their actual sex, we should do it by how much testosterone they have or blah, blah. I'm like, you're a moron, and you're just I think you're just doing this because you're a popular scientist and you're afraid to lose your base.
Yep, exactly.
You literally become a slave
Yep.
to your base. I've lost all respect, not that I had a lot from anyway. I've seen a lot of other things I don't like though. But that's that's what I'm you have at some point it made you who you are, and now you're a slave to it, and that's really sad, and that's Candace.
Where were you at that day?
I was he was there. So I was 30 feet this way. I just remember I was I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's funny because I went back afterwards and I thought I was so far, but it's because there were so many people packed in between. When I went afterwards, and I always remember because I was by a socket, so we went back, I was only 30 feet away from him.
Yeah.
But anyway, this girl I was talking to here, she was oh yeah, that thing he was wearing exploded in his neck, and I was I was there. I'm it was when I looked over, it was I was thankfully on my phone the second it happened. Someone was trying to change my schedule. I was no, I can't happen. And this is how I know it came from Tyler. Everyone's oh, maybe it wasn't him. I'm pretty sure it was the bullet was fired in that direction, because I was on my phone and instantly when I heard it, I looked that way. And then later when I looked at videos, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly where they say he was. And
Yeah.
that's like, you know, and
People
I know
who
that
weren't there,
echoes
they're
and
like-
stuff can mess with
Yeah.
your, like, but like
Yep.
that's
People
exactly
who weren't
where I
there,
looked.
they're like, oh, I can see the change in these leaves at the Sorensen Center on my video. Therefore,
That's crazy. I never heard that.
Therefore, the shooter was on Sorensen, not on the Losi building. And I'm like, I was there. I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
Yeah, you probably, if you're on the
The
balcony,
Losi Center rises above. I went back after the leaves fell off the trees. Sure enough, the Losi Center rises way above the Sorensen Center, and it's you can right where I was standing, you can see the shooter's nest. If the trees weren't in the way, I would have had a clear sight.
Yeah.
You know, but the leaves were in the way, so it's just like it just proved that that's exactly where it came from. And
Yeah.
somebody did an audio analysis showing that the audio from my feed, that's where it came from. You know.
Well, you're big. Like a lot of people looked at your video.
Oh, my video got tens of millions of views. It's insane.
Oh, congrats.
I only got like 10 million, but went around the world.
Yeah.
People ripped it because I didn't watermark it like an idiot, and so other influencers got 100 million views here, 50 million views there. Like
you live, you learn.
Yeah, you live, you learn. But yeah,
good for you.
I regret even being there. Like there's so much bad conspiracies come out of my footage. Like just attacking people.
No, I don't think you
so many
should
people
regret
got
it.
doxxed.
Like you can't control bad people using your.
So many people got doxxed just from my video. Like it's not worth it.
That's unfortunate. I actually was very grateful to be there because, I mean, if it were like in New York where he died, it would have been another thing. It was just around the corner from where I live, so I actually feel very honored that I got to be there for his like last moments.
Yeah.
So like I was very like everyone was like, I'm so sorry for you. I'm like, actually I was grateful I got to be there for this. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
I think we should put up a memorial at the UVU.
Yeah.
Either name of the one of the halls after him, you know. But
do you know that he was inducted? Like they have a banner at like some museum or building for like education in the States. I can't remember what it's called now. I should know it's better, but I remember just like I consumed so much that like I forgot already.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like a banner of him next to some pretty big people for his influence. Anyway,
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I respect him so much that he had such an influence for good in the world.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
Good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too.
I gotta get out of here.
Adam, yeah. You're down from you're up in Taylorsville or
Payson.
Payson.
Yeah. Yep.
Adam, is that your stuff in the booth?
Yes, sir. I'll go get it.
You want it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to lock that.
Okay, I'll grab it right now.
Adam, what's better for you, Instagram or Facebook? I'm totally gonna find you.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Life is Driving. All one word.
Life is Driving,
Yeah.
not Adam Bartholomew.
I mean, you can put in my name, Adam Bartholomew, too, but my handle is at Life is Driving.
Life is Driving. All right.
Yep.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. There you have it. Thanks for letting me know. I would have been climbing through the window.
Well, I locked it. You would have just donated it to Mountain View. So, is this your stuff out here too?
Yes, sir.
Actually, all you have in here is a computer, right?
Computer and a plug.
So all that, well, I'll let you get your. Did it work out?
Yeah.